All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. So we got really good news in the welterweight division. Errol Spence Jr. will get to fight Yordenis Ugas next, which means it is almost the end of strap season, and the Terence Crawford undisputed fight is right around the corner for the winner of that fight. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. But before I get into the subject matter of this video, make sure you check out our business partner, busr.ag/Fanon. Use the promotional code Fanon, and you're going to definitely get very, very good values on that promotional code. You can also see the information going around on the screen right around down there. Also, in case you don't get to the end of the video, I hope you do watch the end of the video. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. All right, man, this is a good day. And it's a good day because Errol Spence Jr. Is going to be able to fight Yordenis Ugas for a 3-belt unification fight in the first quarter of 2022, which means either January, February, or March. So good on two fronts. First, we're going to be able to get a really good fight in the first quarter of the year. Looking forward to that. The PBC oftentimes has good fights in the beginning of the year, but to have a fight that good in the first quarter, man, that would be absolutely excellent. There's some other fights that could be happening around that time as well, like the Tyson Fury, Dillian White fight and other fights that hopefully will happen in the first quarter. So could be a very, very good first couple months of the year, kind of like we've had, this year and the last 3 months of the year. Other than that, man, 2021 wasn't that good, but hoping for a really good 2022, and this is one of the fights that would definitely make it so. Also a good, very, very good, because we get to see the fruition of a promise that Errol Spence Jr. made to Terence Crawford, and that other people have been making fun of and getting on Errol Spence Jr. for a while, which is when he said that he was going to clean up his side of the street, and after he cleans up his side of the street, that he's going to go and fight Terence Crawford. So if one promise is met, then you have some reason to believe that the second promise is going to be met, because now Errol would have cleaned up his side of the street, provided obviously that he is able to beat Yordenis Ugas, which I think he can. But what brought us here was that Stanosis, who was the mandatory for Yordenis Ugas, has accepted and agreed to step aside to allow those guys to have that fight, which probably means that he was paid some money by the PBC in order to step aside, right? So originally Yordenis Ugas was asking the WBA, will you let us do this? Will you let us do this? Will you let us do this? Let me fight Errol Spence Jr. and not fight Stanosis, and then fight Butiev, right? Because, this is a real big chance for me to earn a lot of money, which is the dream of every fighter, or most every fighter, to make a lot of money. And, that he had put a lot of work and effort in it, and please don't take this fight away from me. The WBA on 3 occasions said no, not going to do it, but they used another route and actually went to Stanosis and got him to step aside, right? And what that means is you give the guy some money, and I'm not sure how much money he was going to make in the fight against Yordenis Ugas, but it probably was not that much money. And seeing as the Errol Spence Jr. Ugas fight for Undisputed is going to be a big pay-per-view show, and Stanosis was probably not going to make more than $200,000, $300,000. If he made $500,000 fighting Ugas, I'd be surprised, right? So you pay him, some percentage of that, and then also along with paying him, you make him a promise, right, that he is going to get the fight, that he is probably not going to get the winner, because again, I think they're going to go for Undisputed, but that he will be able to get a fight. Now, he also did, however, get a fight with Butiev, because Stanosis is now just going to go straight and fight Butiev, and the winner of that fight will then become will be the regular champion, and then eventually they're going to order a mandatory between the regular champion and the super champion, who's going to be either Errol Spence Jr. or Terence Crawford. But, I wouldn't be truthful if I did not just say to a lot of people who are Errol Spence Jr. haters, and that's the only way that I can describe you guys. You guys are Errol Spence Jr. haters. I don't think some of you guys are really Terence Crawford fans. You're just trying to find something to say negative about Errol Spence. If Errol Spence Jr. fights Yordenis Ugas and gets his hands on 3 of those belts, there's absolutely nothing you guys can say about Errol Spence Jr. having ducked Terence Crawford, because he would have gone out and got 2 of the 3 belts. And this whole, I don't know where it comes from narrative that Terence Crawford somehow was doing all the work at 147 and Errol Spence Jr. is hiding and trying to stay away from him while he picked up the IBF. He had the IBF originally, picked up the WBC and the WBA Super, and is 3/4 of the way towards unifying a division, acting as if he's ducking while he's doing that. And then Terence Crawford is fighting guys that, that are not necessarily the best opposition in the world, and definitely not current champions in that weight division. You just can't sell that anymore now that he's fighting for 3 belts, right? And I never really never did understand why people had an issue with him unifying 3 of the belts, right? And this is exactly what he said he was going to do 2 years ago relative to getting all the belts. He said it was strap season. It continues to be strap season. And on top of it, he did this after, in the midst of having major car accidents, right, that could have killed, in which he could have died, did not miss a beat, jumps right back out there and fights one of the top guys in the division, Danny Garcia, right? Now he does it again. He gets a torn retina, which held up his Manny Pacquiao fight. He jumps right back in there and fights the WBA super champion who beat Manny Pacquiao in Yordenis Ugas, again, off of another injury. I don't understand how you guys can't get his credit for being the warrior that he is, man. And on top of it, thinking that he would be wanting to duck Terence Crawford when he's willing to take on these other challenges, I just think is very, very unfair. So this is how I do see it playing out, though. Errol Spence Jr. beating Yordenis Ugas, and the reason that I say that is I think that Yordenis Ugas is if he's not tailor-made for Errol Spence Jr., he's close to it, right? And the fact that he is somebody that he's a body puncher, he's going to be somebody that is there and is going to mix it up with Errol Spence Jr., but he's not really somebody that Sorry about that. Had to break it. My dog started barking in the middle of the video. Had to calm that down. So anyway, Yordenis Ugas is I think tailor-made for Errol Spence Jr. He's not a very, very powerful puncher. He is a good boxer, but he's kind of a come-forward fighter that likes to land big shots to the body. That is pretty much going right into what Errol Spence Jr. is very good at and actually better at than Yordenis Ugas, which is being a kind of a come-forward fighter, fighting, and he can mix it up. He can fight on the outside a little, not a little bit. He can fight on the outside very well. I would see it being a 12-round unanimous decision for Errol Spence Jr. against Ugas. I can't see Ugas outboxing him. I can't see Ugas out-brawling him. But at the same time, Yordenis Ugas is definitely a threat and a very, very solid fighter and a very, very good competition. I can't wait to see the fight. But after that, I'm positive that he's going to go for Terence Crawford and make that undisputed fight. I did a video the other day where I talked about those guys are going back over and forth. That Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford are going back and forth over this percentage split stuff. I don't think that is really going to come into play when these guys actually sit down and make the fight. The big question is going to be how much of the network's going to be willing to pay for it. And if it's for a 4-belt unification fight, which it would, those guys are going to come up with the money necessary to make both parties happy. And I don't think he or Errol Spence Jr. are going to be able to resist a unification fight like that, which would definitely be the biggest fight in the year 2022. So anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section, and make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, support our business partner, busr.ag/Fanon. Use promotional code Fanon whenever you put money in there. You'll get extra benefits out of that. Anyway, with that, I'm out. Peace.